My son is screaming on the front porch. His fist pounds the door so hard the frame shakes. Brielle stands behind him, her face the color of old milk, mascara already streaking down her cheeks. The note trembles in Quentin's other hand. I can see his mouth forming words through the window. Ugly words. The kind a mother shouldn't hear from her child. He tries his key again, jams it in the lock, twists it so hard I think it might snap. Nothing happens. Hi viewers, kindly tell us where you're watching from and what time it is, because I changed the locks yesterday. Every single one. Deadbolts, doorknobs, the side entrance they probably forgot about. The locksmith finished at 4:30. I paid him in cash from the metal box I keep in the basement. The box Quentin doesn't know exists. Brielle tugs at his arm now. Her mouth moves, probably telling him to calm down, to think, to get back in their car with the expensive luggage and new clothes they bought with my furniture money. But Quentin shakes her off. He kicks the door, once, twice. The sound echoes through my empty house. My empty house. That's what I came home to 6 days ago. Bare floors where my grandmother's Persian rug used to lay. Naked walls where 4 generations of family photos hung. A kitchen with cabinets gaping open like mouths with no teeth. They took the dishes, the glasses, the cast iron skillet that belonged to my mother. They took the couch where I nursed Quentin through chickenpox 37 years ago. They took the rocking chair his father built with his own hands. They took everything except my bed and dresser, like they were doing me a favor. Like leaving me a place to sleep made the theft less complete. I watch Quentin read the note again. His shoulders heave. He's crying or raging or both. Brielle backs away from him now. She's scared. Good. She should be. She's the one who convinced him this was smart. This was practical. This was just managing Mom's assets before things got complicated. The neighbors are watching now. Mrs. Shiomara stands on her porch across the street. Old Mr. Vega peers through his front window. Let them watch. Let them see what my son became. Let them see what happens when you mistake your mother's trust for weakness. Quentin pulls out his phone. He's calling me. I can see his thumb jabbing at the screen. My phone buzzes in my hand. I let it ring. He tries again. On the 4th call, I answer. Ma? Ma, where are you? Are you okay? His voice sounds wrong, strangled, like he actually cares. I'm fine, Quentin, I'm home. Silence, then. Home, are you inside? The locks won't work, my key won't. Did something happen to the locks? I know, I changed them. The silence that follows is thick enough to choke on. I can see his mouth hanging open through the window, see the exact moment my words register in his brain. You? What? Why would you change the locks? Ma, this doesn't make sense. Let us in so we can talk about this. This is my house, Quentin. My name is on the deed, has been for 43 years. I know it's your house, but I have power of attorney. I have legal rights to... You have the right to make medical decisions if I'm incapacitated. The right to manage my finances if I can't. But I'm standing right here. I'm not incapacitated. I'm not confused. And you don't live here. You have your own apartment across town. His face goes red. Even from here, I can see the color rising up his neck. Ma, please, just let us in. We can explain everything. There's a note on the doorstep, I say. My voice stays level, calm. I practice this. Read it. Then we'll see if there's anything to talk about. I hang up. Through the window, I watch Brielle's hands shake as she picks up the envelope I left tucked against the door this morning. She opens it, pulls out the single page. Her knees actually buckle. She grabs the porch railing to steady herself. She hands the note to Quentin without speaking. He reads it once, fast, like he's hoping he misunderstood. Then he reads it again. Slower this time. His lips move with each word. The note says exactly what I want it to say. What I spent 3 hours writing and rewriting last night, making sure every word landed like a hammer. 6 days ago, I woke up in a hotel room in Phoenix. My sister Odalise had already left for her morning walk. The Arizona sun cut through the curtains in sharp lines. My phone showed 3 missed calls from my neighbor, Shiomara. That's when I knew something was wrong. I called her back. Nadia, honey, I don't want to worry you, but there were moving trucks at your house yesterday. Big ones. They were loading furniture for hours. My stomach dropped. Moving trucks? I asked the movers what was going on. They said they were hired by your son. Said you were downsizing, moving to a smaller place. I wasn't downsizing. I wasn't moving anywhere. I hung up and called Quentin. It went straight to voicemail. I called again. Again. On the fifth try, I called the airline. The flight home cost twice what I paid to get there. I didn't care. I used the credit card Quentin didn't know about. The one I opened after his father died. The one I kept for emergencies. This was an emergency. Odalis tried to come with me. I told her no. I needed to see this alone. The house looked normal from the outside. Same blue shutters, same mailbox, same rose bushes I planted when Quentin was born. I unlocked the front door, stepped inside, and felt my heart crack open. The entryway rug, gone. The console table where I kept my mail, gone. I walked to the living room on legs that didn't feel like mine. Empty. Completely, utterly empty. The couch, the chairs, the coffee table, the bookshelf, the lamps, the TV stand, all of it. Vanished. I checked every room. The dining table where we ate Sunday dinners for 40 years. The china cabinet that held my mother's dishes. The desk in the den where Quentin used to do his homework. My sewing machine, the photo albums, my mother's jewelry box. Gone. All of it, gone. They left my bed, my dresser, some of my clothes, the washer and dryer in the basement because they were bolted down, the refrigerator because it came with the house. Everything else they could carry, they took. I sat on the bedroom floor for an hour, maybe two. The sun moved across the bare walls. I watched the shadows change shape. Watched the light fade. Then I went to the basement. My husband Teo died 10 years ago. Heart attack. Quick and brutal. But before he died, he taught me things, important things. Never put all your money where the government can see it, he used to say. Keep something for emergencies. Something nobody knows about. We built the false floor together. Summer of 1998. Quentin was at camp. We spent 3 days in the basement, measuring, cutting, installing. Made it look like regular concrete tile. You'd never know unless you knew where to press. 3 tiles from the wall, 4 tiles down. Press hard until you hear the click. The panel lifted. The metal box sat exactly where I left it. Wrapped in oilcloth, sealed tight. I pulled it out, opened it, counted. $50,000, give or take. Cash from garage sales over the years. Money from selling my mother's coin collection after she passed. The lump sum when the hospital bought out my pension early. Bills folded flat and stacked neat. Quentin didn't know about it. I never told him, never told anyone except Teo, and Teo was in the ground. I put the box back, sealed the panel, went upstairs. Then I called Rashad Kemp. Rashad and I went to high school together 100 years ago. He became a lawyer, the kind who doesn't lose, the kind people hire when they want results, not sympathy. He answered on the second ring. Nadia Tavar, that you? It's me, Rashad. Must be 15 years. How you been? I need a lawyer, the kind who doesn't play fair. Silence, then. What happened? I told him. All of it. When I finished, he was quiet for a long moment. That's elder abuse, he finally said. Financial exploitation. We can prosecute. I don't want prosecution. I want something else. What's that? I want them to understand what it feels like. To come home and find everything gone. To realize the person they trusted most played them for a fool. You talking about revenge, Nadia? I'm talking about justice. There's a difference. He breathed out slow. What do you need from me? Information, resources. Someone who can change locks. 3 months ago, Quentin brought papers to my kitchen table. Brielle sat beside him, smiling her white teeth smile. The papers were thick, legal size, full of words like principal and attorney in fact and durable power. It's just a precaution, Ma, Quentin said. He squeezed my shoulder. You're healthy as a horse. But at 72, you gotta be smart. What if something happens? What if you have a stroke or a fall or something? This way I can make sure your bills get paid. Your medical decisions get made. You won't have to worry about a single thing. It made sense. I was getting older, living alone. Quentin was my only child. Who else would handle things if I couldn't? Brielle pushed the papers closer. We'll take care of everything. You won't have to stress about anything complicated. I signed. I signed because I trusted him. Because he was my son. Because I changed his diapers and nursed him through fevers and taught him to ride a bike and helped him with algebra homework and held him when his father died. I signed because I loved him. Now I understand what I really did. I handed him the keys to my life, and he waited just long enough for me to forget they were gone. Quentin used to collect coins when he was 12, pennies, nickels, dimes from his paper route. He kept them in a lockbox under his bed. Counted them every night before sleep. His father used to joke that the boy would squeeze a nickel until the buffalo screamed. After Teo died, Quentin got worse. Started asking questions about my finances, about the house, about what would happen eventually. You should really think about estate planning, Ma. Get your affairs in order. Make things easier down the line. I thought he was being practical, responsible, planning ahead like a good son should. Now I know he was appraising, calculating, waiting for the right moment to cash out. Brielle made him bolder. She grew up rich, then lost it when her father's business collapsed. I watched her eyes move around my house during their first visit as a couple. Cataloging, the antique mirror, the Persian rug, the silverware set. You have such charming vintage pieces, she said. Her smile never reached her eyes. They played the long game, patient, careful, waited until I was old enough to seem helpless, but not so old I'd need daily care. 4 days before they emptied my house, Quentin showed up with plane tickets. You haven't seen Anno Dallas in 2 years, Ma. We booked you a trip, our treat. Just relax and enjoy yourself. I protested. The garden needs tending. I've got that appointment with Dr. Vega. I'll reschedule it, Brielle interrupted. She was already pulling up my flight details on her phone. You work too hard. Let us do something nice for you. They drove me to the airport themselves. Quentin hugged me so tight I couldn't breathe. Love you, Ma. Have fun. Now I understand why. They needed me gone. Needed me 2 states away with no car, no easy way to come home and interrupt. They had 6 days. They used 5. Rashad arrived at my house with his paralegal, Kendra, at 2 o'clock the day after I found the empty rooms. They brought papers, information, a plan. We sat on my bedroom floor because there was no table, no chairs, just bare hardwood and afternoon light cutting through the windows. Power of attorney is a problem, Rashad said, spreading documents around us. It gives them authority to make decisions on your behalf, but it doesn't give them ownership of your possessions. What they did is theft, elder financial abuse. You can have them arrested. I don't want them arrested. I kept my voice steady. Not yet, anyway. Kendra looked up from her notes. What do you want? I want them to come home and find the locks changed. I want them to stand on the porch with their suitcases and their stolen money and realize they can't get in. Rashad nodded slowly. You want them to feel what you felt. I want them to know they didn't win. Okay. He pulled out his phone. I'll call the locksmith now. He can be here in an hour. But, Nadia, you need to understand. They can fight this. They have power of attorney. They can claim they were acting in your best interest, moving you to assisted living, managing your assets. Let them claim it. I met his eyes. I'm sitting right here. I'm competent. I didn't authorize any of this. And this is my house. Kendra smiled. You're going to make them come to you. They stole from me. They lied to me. They treated me like I was already dead. My voice stayed level, calm. Now they're going to ask for permission to come inside my own house, and I'm going to decide whether to give it. The locksmith arrived at 3:15, finished by 4:30. New deadbolts, new doorknobs, new everything. I held the keys in my palm. They were warm from the cutting machine. Rashad handed me his card. You call me if they show up and cause trouble. Any threats, any violence, you call me first. Understand? I understand. After they left, I sat on my front porch. The evening air smelled like cut grass and honeysuckle. Xiomara waved from her yard. Nadia, you okay? I saw some moving trucks here a few days ago. I'm fine, Xiomara. Just getting rid of some old furniture. She looked at my empty porch. Usually there were 2 wicker chairs and a side table. Oh, well, if you need anything, I'll let you know. Thank you. She went inside. I sat there until the sun went down, watching the street, waiting. That night, I wrote the note. I must have started it 20 times. Crossed out words, rewrote sentences. I wanted it perfect. Wanted every word to land exactly right. Finally, at 11:30, I finished. You took everything from me while I was gone. You sold my life and didn't even call. Now you know how it feels to come home and find the door locked. To realize the person you trusted played you for a fool. The difference is, this is my house. It always was. You have no power here anymore. Go sleep somewhere else tonight. Think about what you did. Maybe tomorrow we'll talk. Maybe not. Your mother. I read it 3 more times. Then I sealed it in an envelope and set it on the kitchen counter. They'd be back in 5 days. I spent those 5 days preparing, cleaning the empty house, checking the locks, rehearsing what I'd say if they called, if they showed up, if they brought the police. Rashad called every morning. You sure about this? I'm sure. Odalis called every night. Maybe you should just talk to him first. Maybe there's an explanation. There's an explanation. He stole from me. He's your son. That makes it worse. On the 4th night, I couldn't sleep. I walked through the empty house in darkness. Stood in each room and remembered. The living room where Quentin took his first steps. The kitchen where Teo and I danced on our 20th anniversary. The bedroom where I held my husband's hand while he died. All of it stripped bare. Erased. Like none of it mattered. Like I didn't matter. I went back to the basement. Opened the false floor. Looked at the metal box. This was my power now. Not the furniture, not the photographs, not the things they took. This. The thing they didn't know existed. The thing I built and hid and protected. I closed the panel, went upstairs, finally slept. The next morning, I positioned myself by the bedroom window. Perfect view of the driveway. I had my phone ready, camera open, recording. At 4:47, Quentin's car turned onto my street. My heart pounded, but my hands stayed steady. They pulled into the driveway looking like different people. Tanned, rested. Brielle wore a dress I'd never seen before. Probably cost more than my monthly grocery bill. Quentin had new sunglasses. Designer brand. Expensive. They bought those things with my furniture money. My mother's jewelry money. My life money. They pulled matching luggage from the trunk, laughing about something. Quentin's hand rested on Brielle's lower back as they walked up the porch steps. He reached for the doorknob, casual, confident, like he owned the place. Inserted his key, turned it, nothing. His smile faded. He tried again, harder this time. That's weird, I heard him say through the window. Key won't turn. Brielle tried her key, same result. Confusion spread across their faces. They tried the back door. I watched them circle the house, testing every window, all locked, all changed, all mine again. Quentin pulled out his phone, started calling me. I let it ring, ring, ring. On the 4th call, I answered. Ma, where are you? Are you okay? I'm fine, Quentin. I'm home. Home? Are you inside? The locks won't work. I know. I changed them. The silence was beautiful. You... What? I changed the locks. This is my house, Quentin. My name is on the deed. Ma, what are you talking about? Let us in. We need to talk about this. There's a note on the doorstep. Read it. Then we'll see if there's anything to talk about. I hung up. Brielle picked up the envelope with shaking hands. She opened it. Read it. Her face went white. Not pale. White. She handed it to Quentin without speaking. He read it once. Then again. His mouth moved, forming words I couldn't hear. Then he started screaming. My name. Over and over. Pounding on the door with both fists. Brielle tried to pull him away. He shook her off, violently. She stumbled backward. Neighbors came out now, Xiomara on her porch, Mr. Vega at his window. The young couple 3 houses down standing in their yard. Good, let them all see. Quentin kicked the door, hard enough to hurt his foot. He hopped backward, cursing. Then he pulled out his phone again. If you won't open this door, Ma, I'm calling the cops. You're clearly confused, clearly not thinking straight. When they get here, they'll make you let us in. Because I have power of attorney. I have legal rights. He dialed. I watched his thumb hit the numbers. 911. I smiled. I'd been counting on this. 2 police officers arrived 15 minutes later. Officer Callahan was older, gray at the temples, eyes that had seen everything. Officer Torres was younger, notebook already out, pen ready. Quentin intercepted them before they reached the porch. I could hear him through the window. Officers, thank God you're here. My mother's locked me out of my house. She's elderly, confused, possibly having some kind of medical episode. I'm really worried about her. Brielle stepped forward. Her mascara had stopped running, but the damage was done. Black streaks down both cheeks. We're so worried. This isn't like her at all. She's never acted like this before. The officers approached my door. I counted to 3, then opened it. Good evening, officers. Can I help you? Both of them blinked. I was dressed neatly, hair brushed, completely composed. Ma'am, your son says you've locked him out of his house. This is my house, officer. I pulled the deed from my pocket, unfolded it, showed them. My name, see, only my name. Has been for 43 years. Officer Callahan examined the document carefully, handed it to Torres. Ma'am, your son says you might be having memory issues. Do I seem confused to you, officer? He looked at me, then looked around my empty house. His expression changed. Ma'am, where's your furniture? Excellent question. You should ask my son. He had it moved while I was visiting my sister in Phoenix. Without my permission. Without even telling me. Torres wrote something in his notebook. Did you give him permission to move your belongings? No, I came home 6 days ago to an empty house. He didn't call, didn't ask, just sold my life and went on vacation. Callahan's jaw tightened. Ma'am, that's elder financial abuse. That's a serious crime. I know what it is, officer. Do you want to file a report? I'm considering it. Callahan went outside. I heard him talking to Quentin. Quentin's voice got louder, angrier. Torres stayed with me. Ma'am, are you safe here alone? Do you have food, water, utilities? I'm fine. I've lived here 43 years, officer. I know how to take care of myself. She nodded, looked like she wanted to say more, didn't. Outside, the conversation was getting heated. I moved to the window, watched. Callahan's body language was firm, unmoved. Quentin kept gesturing wildly, pointing at the house, at me. His face cycled through colors, red, purple, almost black. Brielle was crying again, full sobs now. Callahan said something. Quentin tried to push past him toward the door. Callahan blocked him, put a hand on Quentin's chest. Sir, this is her property. You cannot force entry. But I have power of attorney. Power of attorney doesn't grant ownership, and it doesn't authorize theft. You can leave voluntarily, or we can assist you, your choice. Complete silence. Even the neighbors held their breath. Brielle grabbed Quentin's arm, pulled hard. He resisted. She pulled harder. Finally, he let her lead him to the car, but he was still screaming. She's my mother! You can't, she's confused! The car door slammed. Tires screeched as they pulled away. Callahan and Torres came back to my door. Ma'am, you sure you're okay here? I'm sure. If you want to file charges, we can help you with that. Thank you, officer. I'll think about it. They left. I closed the door, locked it, all 3 locks. Then I sat on my bare bedroom floor and breathed. The phone rang all night. Text after text after text. Quentin, Ma, please, let's talk about this. This is insane. Brielle, you're being so cruel. How can you do this to your own son? Someone named Vern I'd never heard of. Mrs. Tovar, I'm Quentin's friend. He's really upset. Maybe you should reconsider? Brielle's mother, Patricia. I don't know what's going on, but this seems very unreasonable. Not one apology, not one person asking if I was okay, not one acknowledgement of what they did. Just accusations, demands, guilt. I turned my phone on silent at midnight. Slept better than I had in weeks. Morning came with harsh sunlight through the bare windows. I'd slept on the mattress with no sheets. They'd taken those too, but I'd slept. At 8:15, the doorbell rang. I checked the window. Quentin's car, but only Quentin, no Brielle. He looked destroyed. Red eyes, wrinkled clothes, like he'd aged 10 years overnight. I debated for a full minute, then opened the door. Didn't invite him in, just stood there. Where's Brielle? His voice cracked. Gone. Gone where? Just gone. Left. Took half the money from selling your stuff and disappeared. Blocked my number, won't answer. Her mother won't tell me where she is. I stared at him. This was new information. Unexpected. She played you too, I said. He nodded, started crying. Real tears this time. She convinced me this was smart, Ma. Said we were helping you, getting ahead of estate complications. Moving you toward assisted living eventually. Liquidating assets before things got messy. She made it sound so logical. And you believed her. I wanted to believe her. He looked up at me. I'm so sorry, Ma. I'm so sorry. I know that's not enough. I know I don't deserve forgiveness. But I'm asking anyway, please. I looked at my son. Really looked at him. The boy I raised. The man who betrayed me. He'd lost everything too. Wife, money, mother's trust. Sorry doesn't bring back my mother's wedding ring, I said quietly. Or your father's rocking chair. Or the quilt I sewed by hand. Or the photo albums with 4 generations of our family. I know. You didn't just steal my things, Quentin. You stole my trust. You erased me while I was still alive. You made me feel like I was already dead. He sobbed harder, nodded. I should have slammed the door. Should have called Rashad. Should have filed charges and watched my son face consequences. But I saw something in his face. Something real. Genuine remorse. Devastating pain. The realization of what he'd lost. I made a choice. Opened the door wider. Come in, sit down, a bit. We need to talk. We sat on the bare living room floor, sunlight cut across the hardwood in sharp lines. I laid out terms, simple, clear. Every cent gets repaid, with interest. You'll get a second job if you have to, $500 a month minimum, no exceptions, no excuses. Okay. The power of attorney is revoked. Today, we go to Rashad's office and tear it up. You never get that kind of authority over me again. Okay. You earn back trust through actions, not words, not promises, actions. And that's going to take years, Quentin. Years. I understand. And you never contact Brielle again. Ever. I don't care if she shows up begging. I don't care if she's dying. She's gone from your life. She already is. We sat in silence for a long moment. I loved her, Ma. I really did. I know. I thought she loved me too. Maybe she did, in her own way, but she loved money more. He nodded, wiped his face with his sleeve. Can I ask you something? He said. What? How are you going to afford furniture? Dishes? All the stuff I took? I almost told him about the basement, the false floor, the $50,000, almost. That's my concern, I said instead, not yours. 6 months passed. Quentin came every Sunday, brought his payment in cash, $500 exactly, sometimes more. He helped with yard work, fixed the leaky faucet in the kitchen, replaced the broken fence post. We didn't talk much, just worked side by side. Like we used to when he was young. The house has furniture now, nothing fancy. I bought a couch from a thrift store, a kitchen table from a yard sale, dishes from the dollar store. It's not the same, will never be the same, but it's mine. Quentin knocks now when he visits, waits for me to answer, never assumes he can just walk in. The lock stayed changed. I'm the only one with keys. Brielle never came back. I heard through Xiomara, who heard through someone else, that Brielle did the same thing to her own parents 5 years ago. Convinced them to sign over power of attorney, cleaned out their savings, disappeared. Some people are just like that. Predators in human skin. Quentin works 2 jobs now, his regular job at the insurance company, weekends at Home Depot. He's paying back what he stole. Slowly. But he's doing it. I teach a class now, financial literacy at the senior center, how to protect yourself from scam, from family members who see you as a bank account instead of a person, from people who count on you being too trusting to fight back. 20 people showed up the first week, 40 the second. Now I have a waiting list. The basement still has its secret. 3 tiles from the wall, 4 tiles down. Press until you hear the click. The metal box still holds its treasure. A little less now. I used some to buy furniture, some to hire Rashad, some to make sure I'd survive while I put my life back together. But most of it's still there. My security, my power, my proof that I'm not helpless. Xiomara asked me last week about the reconciliation. How can you forgive him after what he did? I thought about that. Really thought. Justice isn't always about punishment, I finally said. Sometimes it's about teaching what was never learned. She nodded, didn't look convinced. Maybe she's right. Maybe I'm too soft, too forgiving. But I look at Quentin every Sunday when he hands me that envelope of cash. I see the shame in his eyes, the regret, the slow rebuilding of character, and I think maybe he's learning what his father tried to teach him years ago. That integrity matters more than money. That trust, once broken, takes years to rebuild. That your mother's love isn't infinite. It has limits. And he found them. Yesterday, Quentin asked if he could bring something next week. What? I asked. I found something at an estate sale. Thought you might want it. What is it? A surprise. But Ma, it's not to buy forgiveness. I know that's not how this works. I saw it and thought of you. I told him, okay. I'm curious what it is. Part of me hopes it's something meaningful. Part of me knows nothing he brings can replace what he took. But maybe that's not the point. Maybe the point is he's trying. This morning I sat on my thrift store couch with a cup of tea, looked around my house. It's not the same house I left when I flew to Phoenix. That house is gone forever, but this house is mine, completely mine. No one can take it, no one can sell it, no one has power over it except me, and that's worth more than any furniture. I pulled out the one photograph I managed to recover, found it at a pawn shop 3 months ago. Me and Teo on our wedding day. Young and stupid and so in love we couldn't see straight. The pawn shop owner wanted $50 for it. I paid $100, worth every penny. I set it on my thrift store end table. My husband smiles at me from 45 years ago. I smile back. We did good, Teo, I whisper. We raised a son who made a terrible mistake, but maybe, just maybe, he's learning. Maybe it's not too late. The house is quiet, empty in some ways, full in others, and it's all mine. If you've ever been betrayed by someone you trusted completely, if you've ever felt erased while you were still alive, if you've ever had to choose between revenge and redemption, you know the weight of that choice. You know how hard it is to stay standing when everything's been taken. To anyone fighting their own battle right now with family who see you as a burden instead of a blessing, your story isn't over. You have more power than they want you to believe. Your name on the deed matters. Your signature on your life matters. Don't ever forget that. What lesson hit you hardest from this story? And if you were in my shoes, what would you have done? Changed the locks like I did? Or handled it differently? I really want to know. Don't stop here. Click the next video on your screen right now and watch another story from our channel. There's a grandmother who discovered her daughter-in-law was stealing her prescription medication and replacing it with sugar pills. What she did about it will leave you speechless. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and share your thoughts in the comments below. See you in the next one.